And you're very welcome to another edition of the programme. Today we're coming to you from the Dream Home Expo here in the Ora Leisure Centre in Letterkenny, County Donegal. And it's here you'll come to get every little bit of advice, every product, every service you'd possibly need if you're taking on the job of building your own little palace.
Now, the Expo is the brainchild of that extraordinarily entrepreneurial family, the Flanagans from Buncrana. Well, it seems like there's no stopping the Flanagans. Now, the family business, Flanagan's Furniture, was started just 27 miles down the road from Letterkenny here in Buncrana in County Donegal 64 years ago. And the chairman is Brian Flanagan. Brian, you had a tradition of furniture selling in your family before you started the company.
Yes, my father loved furniture. That sums it up. He was in many different walks of life, but all to do with furniture, antiques and modern furniture.
I know you have a great mix in your company.
Yes, well, we try to supply anything that's worthwhile in the furniture line, whether it be an antique piece or an ultra-modern piece, whether it's an old piece that needs restoration, or whether a person needs an extra chair made from scratch to match a set that's not quite complete. We'll take it on, provided it's something worth doing.
So 64 years ago you started with the furniture selling, but then you expanded and now you have a factory.
Yes, well, my ambition from the word go was a little bit too ambitious given the cost base of Ireland, but was to become a maker of tomorrow's antiques. That's not possible in Ireland, but what we do is we custom make when required. We're mainly a retailer now who sources from the four corners of the globe and sources not just standard off the shelf furniture, but also niche market stuff and bankruptcy stock and clearance lines and so on, all of them with an eye to quality. And ultimately, so the customer is getting more than they pay for, really.
And isn't it true that you also made a point of bringing in school leavers and training them to become cabinet makers and polishers and all of that?
That's part of the DNA of Flanagan's, if you like, is the craftsmanship. Craftsmanship is something that's worthwhile, independent of market, independent of finance. For me and for the family, beautiful furniture is what it's about, and craftsmanship is integral to that.
But it sounds as if you have a sense of community as well, and giving the employment and training people.
This was very much part of from my degree at UCD many years ago. I developed a sense of the value of the local thing and rootedness in the locality. And indeed, it has stood to the firm. It really is part of the secret of survival in this recession.
You then branched out because you've got shops all over the place now. You went to Dublin.
Yes, indeed. We were lucky in that it was just adjacent to where I went to university, actually, in Mount Marion.
I bought my first piano there.
That's lovely. Yeah.
Flanagan's in Mount Marion.
Yeah, we have a lot to answer for everywhere I go. I meet customers. It was lovely. The customers in Mount Marion were just ideal for us. We could talk to them in terms of furniture. The words we used were furniture. It's not the customer comes first in Flanagan's, it's the furniture comes first at all times. And hopefully the customer will find that satisfactory.
So some good news there in the building sector, and God knows we need it. And that's really what this third annual Dream Homes Expo here in Letterkenny is all about. It's about companies getting out there and doing the business. And the whole thing is the brainchild of Christopher Flanagan. Chris, it must have taken a bit of courage to mount the Expo in these tight times.
Yeah, it is a difficult climate, all right, but we find that as the recession got worse over the last 2 years, that it's getting easier to get an exhibition like this off the ground. Companies are now being forced to come out and meet the public and actually get their products on show. It's also an opportunity for people to launch new products that they might think would work during the recession, and that's what we see here today.
Business just doesn't arrive in the door like the good old days. People are having to get out there and...
Yeah, that's right. They're going to have to get out now and fight first. That's certainly the way it's going to happen going forward. And that's really what we're trying to do here in Donegal. We're trying to establish Donegal as a kind of a location for these types of exhibitions, you know.
What would the theme be this year, if there is one?
Well, what we're seeing more and more of as the recession gets worse is renewable energy. It's coming through very fast. It's a growth industry. I definitely see a new green economy coming up in what was originally a building industry. There's a one Donegal-based business here called Newtherm. They're working at the moment on geothermal technology. They're also doing solar panels and wind energy. One of the big projects they're working on is the Titanic Quarter in Belfast, the largest construction project in Ireland at the moment.
And I noticed that, I mean, building hasn't ground to a total halt, and there are joinery companies, superb stuff here from Mayo.
One of the fantastic stands here at the moment is Grady Joinery. They've put a huge effort into their stand, and they're a very interesting company. They seem to be, they're based in Mayo, and they have up to 200 employees. Their windows, they have the highest U-value windows available, certified in Ireland. And it's really exciting to see a company like that taking part, because nobody really knew that there were companies of that size in the window manufacturing business in the Northwest. So this type of show seems to bring those companies to the forefront.